appreciate those of you who made it out today. It's great to see everybody, and very much looking forward to Monday Night Football. You know, obviously our players are excited about the whiteout and everything we've got going on there, but it's more important. It's about our fans. It's about what they've brought to US Bank for our home games this year. It's been phenomenal. Home field advantage for us, and we love getting to play in front of our fans. Going to be a big one in the NFC North. These guys are going to good football team that's going to play really hard, and we know that, you know, Thomas Brown leading that team, that it's all over the tape of those guys playing 60 minutes. So we've got to play really good football to have a chance to win this one. Giving you guys an update. Really, Steph Gilmore will be the only one that will go in with a game status of questionable, determine if he's available for us on Monday night. But other than that, we will not have any other players with designations for Monday.
A chance to do much today? Or?
He did. He got some reps. He was in a limited capacity today. Didn't take a full day, but moving around really well, and we'll just see how he kind of handles that in our kind of decision whether he's available or not.
You think he'll use up to warm-ups to figure that out? Or?
Most likely, yeah. I mean, a big part of it will be how he responds tomorrow to a little bit more work today, and then you know, make a good decision leading up to the game.
I know he still has a couple weeks on IR, but how's Ivan Pace doing with his hamstring?
Yeah, glad you asked. He's doing really well. Probably ahead of the timeline we maybe initially thought, but he'll be ready to roll when he's available to come off, I believe.
Kevin, just in general, with the way you guys have structured things, whether giving guys vet days or kind of backing off on some things, how much does that come with an eye toward just keeping guys fresh this time of year?
I just, you know, between, you know, Flo and myself, being a part of some teams that have played a little bit later into January on into February, it's just a mindset of understanding the things that we're doing here. Little things like, hey, we got a padded practice in with the extra day this week. It was physical, but then at the same time we want to make sure that our guys feel really good, not only for every game, but as they start to really stack upon each other. 17+ weeks here, and got a short week coming off of this one next week, so we'll have to be, you know, really aware and smart about how we prepare. So tactically we're ready to go, but our team continues to respond and turn over, and you know, get a great opportunity to go win another game on the road. But first and foremost, everything we got is tied into winning on Monday night.
Bit of a random one here, but they're known, Chicago, for Peanut Tillman, Peanut Punch.
Yeah.
It seems like that's really become the standard way to teach tackling, is to punch it out. When did that kind of start to develop? It doesn't seem like it was until recently that everyone started to kind of follow his lead in trying to punch the ball out. Yeah,
that's a good question. I don't know when, you know, I can't really pinpoint a time when it became kind of the standard, but you just see it every single week. You know, we spent a lot of time talking to our guys last week because, you know, Simmons and Bates for Atlanta, you just kept seeing these guys showing up with, you know, pretty surgical with that punch out. We've had some great examples of it this year, whether it was, you know, Josh Metellus or Murph against Green Bay, where we've got some great looks at it, you know, camera isolated on a guy, slow-mo, but I can promise you it's a heck of a lot harder than sometimes it looks with how fast things are going, and you still got to make the tackle. And that's where I think, you know, the amount of volume of Vikings we can get to the football, that's when those opportunities come, when you've got a guy, you know, in the grasp and before he's on his way down to the ground, or as before his forward progress has been stopped, you can get a couple punches at that ball, because you just never know when that play will change a game. And our defense has done a phenomenal job forcing turnovers all season long. It's been a huge part of our formula to winning the games we have, and it's being coached. These guys have really dialed into the technique and fundamentals, and then it's the mindset, like you said, of being a major part of not only what we do, but you're just seeing it around the league. And the ability to change a game with one punch out is really what you're seeing week in and week out.
What did you learn about Caleb Williams, seeing him in person a couple weeks ago, that maybe you're taking into this matchup? Yeah, I think you know, his athleticism and his elusiveness was real. I mean, it was on full display. We had him we had free runners multiple times in the game that ended up being really positive plays for the Bears offense, and I think that's what we all knew he was capable of, but until you experience it,
I think we're going to have to do a much better job this time around trying to keep him in the pocket, and then when we get our ops with some either design pressures or a guy wins against his one-on-one, you gotta be ready to come to balance and try to get him on the ground. And I thought one of the biggest plays in the whole game was JG's sack in overtime when it was a three-man rush. He was straining through the tackle, or the tight end and the running back in protection, and we just kind of kept him in there. Even though we didn't get immediate pressure, we were able to finish the down with a sack, because he's doing a really good job. And then just the more and more you watch him, you can tell he's getting comfortable, on that NFL time clock of rhythm and getting the ball out as he progresses with his feet and eyes. So Caleb's improving. He's a super talented player, and going to be a challenge for sure to defend on Monday night.
Aaron Jones was talking the other day about just this team kind of having a selfless mentality, that it shows up in a lot of different ways. I guess, do you facilitate that, or how do you facilitate that as a coach within your locker room and how people play to kind of take that selfless type of attitude?
Yeah, I think it's done long before you ever get to the competitive environment of games. It's done in the spring and training camp, how you're building things, how you're talking about what you want this place to be like, and then you just try to give principles to these players, equip our leadership with the type of things we believe that are important to building a team, our way of doing things. And a huge part of that is guys doing things for reasons greater than just themselves or just their own production. And we have a total team kind of mentality, and that's built by the players here. We can talk about it all we want as coaches, but ultimately our players deserve the credit for building that mindset, and we've leaned in on it and won football games because of it. So I think if anything, it's just confirmed to a lot of the guys here, of whether they're Aaron here for the first time or guys that have been here since I arrived. I think guys just feel that it's an important part of our way of doing things, and they take a lot of pride in it.
How much of that is taught, and how much of that is finding the right people to bring in?
Yeah, I think, I've mentioned it before, smart, tough guys that love football, love being teammates, great teammates of one another. Those guys tend to take some of those principles and run with it. And then as a coach, a lot of times, as long as you set the standard yourself, and then hopefully enforce that with your coaches to be doing it, as they go to their position rooms or collectively three sides of the ball, then you start kind of seeing it grow to a place where you hear the players talking about it. In game, you hear the players talking about it. And when it leads to victories, or if it leads to a moment that's, we didn't get the result we were looking for, that's when you normally hear the true nature of where you're at. And that's where I've always just seemed like, no matter what kind of result we've had that didn't go our way, we come back in Monday ready to work, and we come back in ready to get back to work for the greater good of the cause of trying to get the result we want. But these guys are never going to let those things define how they treat each other, how they go about their own work individually. And it can sound like a lot of coach speak and culture speak at times, and I think there's a lot of examples of real tangible results from that. But it's not about those results. It's about being authentic, and I just try to be myself every day around these guys, and have the right kind of players here and coaches here that can build something really special. And I'm so proud of the guys for doing that.
We came out on a Saturday. We got to get every question today. So
I agree.
Dallas Turner's snap counts have gone up.
Yep.
You talked about being patient with his development
Yep.
because he's a young player. I guess, what do you want to see from him over these next couple of games, as there could be opportunities for him to be on the field?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, don't let your continued growth and development in the technique and football awareness of our defense against our opponent, don't let that slow you down from playing fast, because he is he's an explosive athlete that I just have felt him sideline to sideline running plays down, being in space. When he's had those opportunities, he's done a really nice job of playing fast. And then when you get your ops, and not every play is the same, sometimes your job is to rush the quarterback and beat the guy over you, go to work and work your technique, but never ever lose that explosiveness and your fastball, so that, you know, as you continue to grow and you get those counter rushes to your, you know, your go-to rushes, that's when you can start building kind of that repertoire of being a pass rusher in this league, because tackles are really good, protection schemes are good, you know, they're nudging the edges, they're trying to disrupt those guys on the edges. So, you know, pass rushing is just a part of it. There's a whole bunch of other jobs that go into what makes Jonathan Grenard a really good player on every down, making plays against the run, holding his gap, setting edges. When he's a dropper, you know, being exactly where you're supposed to be and getting your hands on a football like Van Ginkel does. So I think there's great examples of it around the room, and I'm seeing more and more of him really coming into his own. And I look forward to how this thing, you know, his rookie season kind of progresses here towards the end and wraps up, because I think he's getting better every single day.